Hi there, welcome to the library created at the Virtual Environments Lab. My name is Anya and I was an intern and creator when these awesome environments were created. I entered as a rookie and now have a great group of friends and an awesome community to share my ideas and future projects with. It is my pleasure to welcome Alwyn Hunt, co-creator of the Rookies, and Stephen, this year's contest winner, to share some wisdom on building a digital portfolio with us. Good evening, Alwyn. Good evening, Stephen.
How are you, Anya?
Hello.
I'm good, how are you?
Fantastic, thank you.
How do you like our virtual studio?
It's amazing. The students have done a fantastic job, and I really love it. I think it reminds me of a world from Alice in Wonderland. It's beautiful.
The lab teams are hoping to enter next year's Rookies competition with their projects. Do you have any advice for them?
Looking at the quality of this, no, I think they're going to do a great job. So they should enter for sure.
Thank you so much. You can continue with your presentation.
Great. Thank you so much, Anya. Today, I'm going to just share my screen and we're going to go through. And what I want to do today is really just talk about the Rookies platform and how it helps young people. And I'm really lucky to have Stephen Nyato on with me today with this call. He was a winner of a career opportunity and we're going to talk about his journey. But first, I'm just going to share my screen and we're going to run through this presentation. So let me do that. So we've got... yeah, like Anya said, I'm one of the co-founders of the Rookies, and on the Rookies platform, which anyone can go to. Basically, there are a number of steps that you can go through to be able to be active on the Rookies platform. It's a global platform for up and coming young artists. All the projects that are part of the Rookies platform are all created by students. So our point of difference really is to allow students to have a community of like-minded artists to be able to create portfolios, showcase their work, gain confidence without being sort of contaminated or being overwhelmed with professional work. It really sets the benchmark for young people that are wanting to find standards from around the world of where their work is at. You can go on, you can create a digital portfolio if you're a first year or you're a graduated student. It doesn't matter. It's all about encouraging young people to be able to start that first digital portfolio. We also have regular challenges and contests, and we're going to talk about the Rookie Awards, which is what we're kind of most well known for, is the Rookie Awards. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute, but we'll also have other contests, which are smaller contests. And the whole idea with these contests is to allow you to be able to create portfolio pieces. And we run our contests slightly differently. We get our judges and industry professionals to give feedback to entries or entrants along the way. We're really trying to lift the levels and the standards of people that enter into our contests. We also get a lot of studios and recruiters that are looking at our platform and really looking for that next generation of young talent coming through. It's a really interesting time for the visual effects and gaming industries right now, because there's so much content being created and there's only a certain amount of talent pool that they can tap into. And there's other industries that are also embracing 3D, which is also sourcing from the same talent pool. So there's a lot of studios now turning their focus to young people and students that are coming through higher education as people that they can, obviously try to encourage to come to their studio. So we get a lot of recruiters that come to our site or reach out to us asking us about the next generation of talent. When we look at our audience, we're really global. We're split across the world. We have a big population of rookies that are part of Europe, part of Asia, North America, and all parts of the world. So you don't have to be from any one geography to be able to create a platform. We encourage everybody at all levels to get involved. We have over 50,000 members that are part of the rookies community, and it's really amazing to see people interacting with each other and helping give each other feedback and encouraging each other. The Rookie Awards, like I said, is what we're kind of most well known for, and each year we get thousands of students, again, from all different levels entering into the Rookie Awards. This year we had just under 4,500 entrants, and it's part of the Rookie Awards is that we have a number of different categories that students can enter into. So you can be an individual, and you can enter into the Rookie of the Awards categories, and that could be for visual effects, it could be for game development, it could be for 2D, 3D animation, motion graphics. So we have 10 different categories that you can enter into with your portfolio of work. That portfolio of work, it doesn't have to be unique for the contest. It can be an accumulation of your student work as well as personal work or other work that you've entered into other contests. It really is just trying to look at your best work, creating an entry from that, and then submitting that into that category. So with Stephen, for example, he entered into one of our career opportunity categories, and that was for an internship at Weta Digital back then, which is now rebranded to be called Weta Effects. And we're going to talk about his journey once I get through this. We have over 150 industry professional judges that are looking at your work. So every single person out of that 4,500 entries gets a ranking, gets a score, gets some sort of feedback about their entry. So that's pretty amazing when you think about it. So like I said, we have this beautiful community platform where students are engaging with each other from all different parts of the world, sharing their work, getting feedback. We also have our Discover platform. So there's a link up the top of the website that is called Discover, and that's really our information hub. This is where you go to find out about school rankings, find out which schools that we've certified that we think are doing an amazing job. This is where you go to find breakdowns of, people's projects. This is where you go to find out about rookies' stories and case studies, etc. So there's a lot of information there. This is, even if you're new to visual effects or games and you want to find out about the various roles, then this is where you'd find that sort of information. I've already touched on the contests and challenges. So you can see from this example on the right-hand side, we have, more than one contest going at any one time. They can be an animation challenge. It can be a rigging challenge. It can be a real-time rendering challenge. So we try and vary it and mix it up. So there's a lot of variety there for people to be able to engage and be active with. We also have a school directory. So maybe you're just starting your journey and you're wondering where the best schools are in the world. Then this is a fantastic resource where you can come and actually have a bit of a deep dive into the various schools that we have on our school directory. So we find out information about the courses, about the hardware, the software that they're using. We find out, where's the quality of the students' work based on their portfolio. So this is a really great place to start to get a bit of information about, the schools that we have on our school directory. I mentioned our global school rankings. We're just about to release the 2022 global school rankings. So how that works is that we take all that data, all those 4,500 entries from the Rookie Awards, and we use that data then to find out where the best students are coming from and which training facility that they've come out of. And there's a whole weighted scoring system that falls behind that. But from that, we're able to then define or evaluate where we think the best schools are in the world. And these rankings change every year. There's things that happen within schools, whether it's lecturers leaving and the changing of, different teachers, or the courses change, or whatever it may be. But it's a really great indication of where any particular school is in any given year. This is another great resource for people that are starting their journey to find out where the best schools are. We've also gamified the portfolio so that you can earn badges. And you can see in the example on the right-hand side there that there's a series of badges there. So you can be allocated excellence badges from our judges. If you get into the draft, and we've got more and more badges being added so that you can use them to show and add to your LinkedIn profile and be able to show recruiters that you're actually collecting these badges. And recruiters recognize these badges from the rookies as well. We have, an amazing system that sits behind each of these contests that we're able to go through and be able to create these amazing portfolios. There's a number of different widgets there that you can showcase your work, whether it's a 3D embedded viewer that you want to showcase your work, or whether you want to just add images or a demo reel. There's a number of different widgets that you can use to really highlight and make sure that you're presenting your work in the best possible way. And then that we have a full judging system that sits behind that as well, so that it makes it easier for us to be able to evaluate when we get 4,500 entries. We also have, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this as I get through this next slide. We have a learning management system. So, we focus a lot on higher education and students coming through training facilities and earning these badges and accolades and getting career opportunities. But we're now focusing on, 16 to 18-year-olds, the high school sort of demographic. And what we're trying to do there is really educate them more about the career pathways into these creative industries. We feel like on a global stage, there's a lack of information and awareness about the types of jobs that students can get into. We talk to parents and a lot, and I even asked this to a parent last night. What do you think the types of jobs there are in games? And the first thing that they say is, there's just a lot of people that code, and that's their perception of the types of roles that they think are in games. That is an aspect of it, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more creative, artistic roles, as well as the more technical. And we want to bring that and introduce that to high school students, so they are aware that they can be a full artist and be able to get, types of jobs in these creative industries. So our focus is really visual effects, animation, games, design, art that can be 2D and concept. And, even things that are relevant for the metaverse, really content creation. So, we've created this, amazing platform and for people to be part of, and just, it doesn't matter what stage of the journey that you're on, either at the beginning or you could have just graduated and you still need that little bit of help. The Rookies platform is there to support you. And this is the roadmap that we're sort of looking at. Like the Kickstart or the learning section right now is where we're really focused on. And then the upskilling is when you're going to higher education, you're going to those certified schools, the ones that we mention in our rankings. Then that's kind of that stage 3 there, right through to certification. And what I mean by certification is that we actually released a certified skills platform earlier this year called CertifiedDigitalArtist.com. Now, this is an accumulation of 2 years' work where we worked with all our studio partners, some of the top studios in the world, to gather information about core competencies for junior or entry-level positions. So what I mean by that is, if you're thinking about being a texture artist in visual effects, what is it that studios are looking for as their core competencies? So they want you to be able to do X, Y, and Z. So we collected a lot of this information. We cross-checked it, cross-referenced it against each studio, took out any bias towards proprietary systems and so forth. And we were able to come up with this really clean checklist of core competencies that artists can go to be able to go, if you're a student now and you go, okay, what is it that they really want to see as a texture artist? Okay, I need to lay out UVs. I need to be able to quality control meshes. I need to be able to check my UVs for over. So there's a whole checklist of things that you are expected to know. So if you're interested to know more about that, then I encourage you to go on certifieddigitalartist.com. It's a free resource. Again, you can use that as a checklist. Schools can use it as a bit of a blueprint to make sure that they're teaching what industry expect. And yeah, like I said, it's free and you can go to it right now. And this is really some of those key benefits to certified digital artists. It can help you improve your resume by being a certified digital artist. So there's 2 phases for it. So the first phase is we have this free resource right now. And the second phase that we're developing is where we will certify you. So we will check your work, we'll come through, make sure that you've reached all those check marks, and we can actually go through and certify you. If some of those skills are missing, then we can let you know that, hey, you know what, you need to improve on these certain areas. But once you've got that certified badge, then, you know, recruiters will recognize that and be able to know that you're at a certain level and that, you know, you're really standing out from the rest of the pack. So we have a huge amount of volunteers and alumni that help us with the Rookies platform. You know, here's a snapshot of just a few people. We really are thankful. You know, we have 12 years of the Rookies, and there's a lot of people that have come through that are now, you know, head of departments or lead artists in various gaming, you know, VFX studios, and are really at the top of their game. And it's a wonderful ecosystem of people coming through and now and wanting to give back and help out with either a mentoring or feedback sessions or whatever it may be. So we have to recognize them and say thank you so much for all your help. Without their help, we wouldn't have that industry support that we're well known for. So that's just the presentation that I just wanted to show you quickly. And well, now I want to just stop sharing my screen and just start talking to Stephen for a minute. Hey, so just to bring the viewers up to speed with which contest you won, because it wasn't the main like contest, because as I sort of explained there are sub contests within the Rookie Awards. And you won one of those sub contests. Can you just tell the people that are watching today just exactly which contest you won, what your process was, why you entered into the Rookies in the first place, and just give us a bit of a background about even where you're based right now. Let's take it all the way back. So where are you?
Yeah, so I'm currently in Wellington, New Zealand at WeatherFX, formerly known as Weather Digital. I'm in an art department as a concept artist, and yeah, so it all started in 2020. I had known about the Rookies prior to that, but I hadn't entered. I entered the year before, and yeah, just thought it was so helpful in terms of growth, and I could really see a lot of benefits from doing it. So I entered again in 2020. And yeah, I entered the Oceania League of the competition, I believe, and that was with WeatherFX. And each year they'll do a rotation with different departments, and the 2020 happened to be an art department one, so I was really lucky and I entered, and yeah, I got in, and it all started from there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you know what I'm always curious about as well is that, you know, for people that have never done an internship before, like Anya's just done one, but you know, you went through an internship. I'm always curious about, well, for people that are curious, what an internship format looks like. You know, like we talk about apprenticeships, which are 3 years, and you'll go off to, you know, training and you'll come back. What is the format of an internship look like?
Yeah, so I think you're right. Like it's quite different for everyone, but for me, it was over the course of 5 weeks. And what the art department had kind of planned up for me was basically I'd be able to try a little bit of everything, and you know, do see how the pipeline works, which is really interesting because I had completely no idea how that worked at all. So yeah, that was really informative.
Yeah, that's cool. So you weren't assigned to a show straight away? You sort of had some training and you were just sort of playing around a little bit, I guess, before you actually got onto a show?
Actually, I got put onto a show on the first day, actually. Yeah, so I just went straight into it, and that was really good. But you know, I had really great mentors throughout, and it's just so great because everyone was so open to asking questions, and everyone would check in on me quite frequently, not in a nagging way, but in a just really caring way. And they'd see, hey, how you're going, and kind of look over my shoulder, and I'd go up to them and ask them questions, and they'd always be so keen to help me out.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I guess during, when you won your internship as well, that was during, the hot sort of the peak of COVID. So you were having to do this from home, right? So everything was being done virtually as well?
No, so what happened was, it was during COVID, and in New Zealand, we had a big lockdown, and then I think we'd come out of a lockdown and we'd scheduled the internship to happen in the latter half of the year, but then we entered our second lockdown and it didn't happen. And after we came out of that lockdown, they were like, okay, we can bring you down. So I finally got to come down to Wellington and do the internship on site, which I was really, really grateful for.
Yeah, fantastic. And did you have to relocate to Wellington?
Yeah, so I came down and they put me in accommodation. And then, after the 5 weeks, I rolled into my junior contract. And I've been and found a flat here.
Yeah, great. And what advice, I guess, now that you sort of look back and you go, wow, I was, at the start I was freaking out and, just not unsure, like you said, of the pipeline and how it was all going to work. If you could look back now and give some advice to somebody that's, like really on that verge of breaking into the industry and not quite in yet, what would that look like, or what would that be?
Yeah, I think one really important thing to keep in mind is I think when you're at that point, almost breaking through, you probably know it, but I think it's important to remember that, this path is most likely not linear. Like, you might know some people who graduate and then they'll, get a job at their dream studio instantly, but that's not the case for many. And that's fine because, everyone's on their own journey and going about it in their own pace. So I think, don't be too harsh on yourself, but, if you're diligent and you work really hard, then, I'm sure everyone will get there eventually.
Yeah, fantastic. And just to take it a little bit back to when you entered into the Rookie Awards, what did your portfolio look like? Was it accumulation of just schoolwork, or was it like personal stuff, or what did that entry makeup look like?
Yeah, so what happened was I finished my bachelor's of architecture in 2018. And then after that, I was working part-time. And then, when I wasn't working, I'd work on my portfolio. So, just going on YouTube and lots of different courses online and entering competitions as well, which I found really beneficial for my growth because, I had a brief, I had to work towards a deadline. So that during those competitions, build up my portfolio, and I was able to accumulate a lot of work. And, once I did the new competition, I'd be like, okay, the previous ones is not that good, so I'd replace it. And just slowly build towards that. So all of it was kind of just personal work because my schoolwork wasn't really applicable. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting, isn't it? And I think, it's a really good lesson for people that are listening today is that, there's the work that you do at school, but there's also the kind of, extra work that can really make the difference, right? And I think, people that are creating articles or publications for various websites, whether it's 80.level or whether it's ArtStation or whether it's even the Rookies, there's things that you can be doing actively to really get your work out there. I think entering contests is a fantastic way because not only do recruiters see it, but it also gives you that extra content that you can add to your portfolio. And it's amazing if you can get placed in it and, get some sort of reward for entering into that contest. So well done for that. I think, the one question that always burns for me is if you'd never entered into the Rookie Awards, where do you think you would be today?
I was, I had a kind of a plan in place. So I gave myself which I don't recommend to everyone, but I gave myself a 2-year limit. And I was like, if nothing really bites within the 2 years, then I'll kind of go back to study. Because in New Zealand, if you want to become registered as an architect, you have to do your master's. So, and the master's program is 2 years. So that's why I set that deadline. But, I think I've talked to this with you before, Alwyn, but I remember when I was, about to submit my application for the Rookies Awards, you enter the main competition and you go through, click through, and then there's the different some competitions that you can enter. And I was just, you know, like just hovered my cursor over the Oceania one and just thought to myself, you know, I'll give it a go, because, you know, you never know what could happen. And yeah, it's, you know, it's crazy what has happened now. Like, you know, back then I decided not to click that button. So yeah, definitely just, you know, be
Right.
opportunistic and go for everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, that's a huge message as well, Steve. And I think, you know, that you know, that moment where you just like, I've got absolutely nothing to lose. And you know, for those people again that are watching, anybody from around the world can enter in and be part of the Rookie Awards contest. So it's not restricted by region. There are career opportunities in all parts of the world. So Stephen was fortunate enough to be eligible for the Oceania region, but there's, you know, we organize with all the top studios in North America and Europe and you know, and UK and so forth. So there's next year, we are open for submissions March the 7th. The dates remain the same every single year. So it's March the 7th through till June 1st, and we're open, so you can submit a portfolio at any stage during that sort of window or that time frame. And then after that, you know, obviously we go into final judging. And how it works at the end is, if you get awarded that internship or whatever that career placement is, we just put you in contact with that studio, and then there's a bit of a negotiation on when, you know, that possible start date, because sometimes we get students that are still studying, or, you know, they can't do it until the end of the year, and or the other way around, a studio might not be ramping up for a production until later in the year. So they might go, hey, is it cool for you to start in November or something like that? So it's super flexible at the other end. Studios, and, you know, we've got so many amazing stories like Stephen here that have gone on and are now absolute rock stars in the industry. And this time and time again, we hear from people that are like, yeah, I almost didn't enter in, but last minute I changed my mind, you know, or they entered on the last day and they almost didn't get it in, and then, you know, that changed their whole life, you know, the journey of their trajectory. So congratulations. You've been now, I think you've been offered, you know, are you full time now at that at Weta Effects?
Yeah, I'm just here full time now. Yeah.
So fantastic. So from that internship, Stephen got offered, you know, an extended contract to be full time there. So, you know, that's amazing. So well done. Yeah, I think that's it from me. I was just going to say, if there's anything else you'd like to say to people out there, Stephen, you know, like, even so, actually, what department did you end up in the visual art department? Is that right? Yeah, art
I'm a concept artist. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And so, and I guess actually just even on that, like how quickly are you building your portfolio work now? Like, you're working on lots and lots of shows, and are you finding that you're just building out your portfolio really, really quickly?
Yeah, it's quite it's what I enjoy a lot about working at Weta. It's like we get to work on so many different projects, and you know, that's with subject matter, with genre, and also stylistically as well. So I'm always constantly learning and, you know, being pushed out of my comfort zone, but in a really good way. So yeah, you know, it's never the same day.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much I know it's getting late there for you, and thank you for jumping on. Yeah. And we'd love to see you come back and do that full cycle at some stage, Stephen, and actually come back as a judge at some stage, which is
thank you so much for having me. Yeah,
no problem.
It's yeah, I think it's just, yeah, it's amazing what you guys do at the Rookies, and you guys really do like change people's lives. It's just, yeah, like I think I know there's so many people before me and so many people who will come after me who, you know, get that opportunity, that first foot in the door, and, you know, it just goes all from there. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm actually going to be across in New Zealand next month, so I'm going to pop down to Wellington. So I'll definitely come and
by,
say
yeah.
hi. Yeah.
Yeah, please
Excellent.
do.
Rookies have been expanding as a platform, and we are happy that CGA Belgrade is a window to connect with your work and all the young talents out there. It's been really cool to also hear about Stephen's story as an artist, and how he finished his bachelor's degree in architectural design, and the entire process of getting to where he is now. I think it's very inspiring. So I don't know what to exactly ask you, but if you wanted to share something else with us.
I was just going to say, like I think Stephen really is, like you pointed out, Anya, a great example of somebody that was really studying something else, worked on the side to, on his dream. And, the Rookies was really that crossroads for him. And if it hadn't worked, then it could have been a very different path. And I think, like I said, we get those types of stories all the time. And we're super proud of it, and that's really what keeps us going, is just getting making that change for people, and really it dramatically changes their lives. And it's amazing that we're able to pull that together and have a platform that does that. So we're super fortunate that we can do it, and it's only through the help of all the industry partners and professionals that help us. We don't pay them; they just it's for the love of the platform. So it really is quite a unique experience for people that come on and that are part of that. So I'm glad I've answered all your questions, Anya, and Stephen did a wonderful job. So thank you, Stephen.
So if you want to apply March to June, send your applications.
Yeah, there'll be more material coming out about it, and you'll see it. It's pretty easy. Like I said, you're just uploading your best work, your best portfolio of work, and there's nothing too crazy with it. But submissions will be open on March the 7th, and we close on the 1st of June. Winners are announced roughly around mid-July, so 15th of July, and and then it's all on.
For the portfolio, I guess how many works would be ideal?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and you can actually create an entry with a number, with more than one project. So, for example, if Stephen was doing, concept art and illustration, he could have all his, work, which are maybe 4 or 5 different projects that all make up that entry. So you can have, again, when you think about what type of entry and how long it should be, it's a similar mentality as if you're going for a job in the industry. You would only put your best work forward, right? So there's no point in putting work that is probably not as good as what you would hope it to be. So you're really trying to impress the judges. Think of the judges like they're recruiters and going, okay, I'm going to put the 4 best projects up and I'm going to showcase it. And also the biggest thing is being able to describe exactly what you've done, so that it's not just renders or not just a show reel, but hey, I did this using this bit of software and it took me this long. And it gives the judges a bit more of depth about, what you've actually done with that, with that final project. So what I always say is that a good reference point is to go back and look at last year's winners of the Rookie Awards. It's still archived. People can access that. They can go back, look at Stephen's entry from this, from last year, or the year before, actually, isn't it? 2020? Yeah, 2020. Yeah, but even, going back and looking at past entries is a really good reference point, and dissecting that and reverse engineering what that looks like. That's a really good place to start. Just to add to that too, Anya, people always ask about, I worked as a group or in a team. We've got this short film or we've made this game. We also have categories that support people that are coming from a group or a team-based project as well. So how that works is one person from that team gets nominated to upload and create that entry, and then they tag the other team members as part of that entry.
Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Stephen. See you, buddy. Thanks,
Okay.
Anya. See you,
See
Malay.
ya.
Thank you. See you.